feeling, I guess, compared to what it was like this week last year going into your first game as a head coach?
Well, the feeling's still the same going into the first game because you're just excited. And each year is different because the kids are different. And molding our team together this year is different than it was last year. But for me personally, the excitement really hasn't worn off. The second time around is definitely easier in terms of just everything is the second time you've done it. The systems are laid down. So the excitement's still just as high, but it's a little easier the second time.
Having a year where so much of your offense, particularly your quarterback, going through that transition, how helpful is it to have a guy like Lucas Shapiro who is so used to being out there on the field, making catches, and being a captain there on your offense?
Yeah, absolutely. Lucas is a bona fide playmaker for us, a bona fide playmaker in the Ivy League, and that helps. Him and Hagee will carry the brunt of the offensive load and production, while we have a lot of question marks and guys that don't have a ton of snaps out there with them. So it's really nice to have them, particularly Lucas, leading the way.
Coach, you're talking a little bit about the new offense. Do you think that having such a late start could be maybe a disadvantage? You're going up against a Colgate team that's already played 2 games already. Do you think that could be helpful for you to have that extra time to prepare, or a disadvantage?
Well, I think everything's how you look at it. Everything's the attitude you bring with it. So I can definitely see both sides. Colgate's much more game speed, obviously, because they've had 2 games, and we haven't had any. But at the same time, the only things we can control is what we have, and so we look at what our spring practice schedule is and our training camp schedule is, and we tried to lay out the way we wanted to install and teach the offense and rep different things with the offense accordingly. So we look at it as an advantage, and try to just focus on the positive.
Expanding on that, as far as the offense, you talked about it really being year one. How do you think the team's been grasping it coming into this weekend's game?
I got a great quote from one of our alumni. I love the sunshine. I got a great quote from one of our alumni. He sent me a quote that said, "The best laid plans never survive the battle with the enemy." And so I think that's kind of how I'm feeling right now, where we've had a great plan. We've really executed it throughout our camp. And when the live game hits, things happen that don't always happen in practice. So I'm anxious to see how we'll compete and how that translates into a game setting. But so far in the teaching progression, I've been really happy with the progress we've made.
Coach, obviously a lot of other college teams getting underway a lot earlier than you guys.
Yeah.
What's the feeling going into Saturday? The anticipation, is that starting to build, or is it kind of wearing off?
Oh no, it's there and it's been there. The Ivy League, it's awesome because we have that time to prepare, but it's hard when you see college football opening up on TV and other teams playing. You just want to get out there and compete. We work all day, all year for these 10 games, and I think that's something people sometimes fail to realize. This is a year-long commitment for our kids. It's not like they go off and play another sport in the spring, or just kind of hang out and play pickup basketball. It's a year-long thing with our weightlifting and our conditioning and our preparation. So these guys and the staff, everybody's really excited to get going.
Obviously, just looking at some stats, you guys won 5 out of 7 of your last season openers. For you guys, and the fact that you guys are starting late, Colgate's 0-2. What are your expectations going to Saturday?
Well, that's deceiving because Colgate's a really good team. So they played Ball State and Delaware, who are both full-loaded scholarship programs from the MAC and the CAA. So Colgate's record isn't really a good indication of where they're at. They're always a solid program. It's Coach Hunt's first year as the head coach, but not his first year with Colgate. They've really built, I have a ton of respect for the way they've built their program and the way they execute. It's their home opener, it's their homecoming, and it's his first home game as a head coach, and they're looking for a win. So I expect 2 teams that are really fired up to play in a great game in Hamilton.
What do you think the keys are to Saturday's game for you guys?
I think we have to concentrate on what we do, because we have so many players playing for the first time and playing in different positions for the first time, that we just need to make sure that we always hit the poise button instead of the panic button. Make sure we hit the poise button and go out there and concentrate on the things we want to make sure we get done, and go play hard and make sure we keep the football and take the football away.